In this episode of the Dandy Funhouse, we're going to unpack the tale of how a college student's 1960s class project based on surviving Death Valley on foot was sold for next to nothing to a company who redesigned it into everyone's favorite surgery game, trying to cure a guy named Cavity Sam. You and I have been trying to fix him for over 60 years in the game of Operation. We're also going to unbox, assemble, and play the 2023 version of Operation while sharing fun facts and history along the way. Are you ready, Doctor? Let's step into the funhouse.
Where am I?
You just entered the Dandy Funhouse.
Hello and welcome to the Dandy Funhouse, the home of your favorite frivolities, video show, podcast, and blog. I'm your host, Neil Dandy, and here in my hot little hands, I have the 2023 version of everyone's favorite game of surgical skill, Operation, featuring the man with more maladies than Super Dave Osborne, Cavity Sam. Let's get scrubbed up and head to the operating table where we'll put them together, pull them apart, and tell his story. Now, before I get into it, I do want to acknowledge my resources for the information I'm sharing today, including Mental Floss, IEEE Spectrum, Toy Tales, and Wikipedia. Links to all are included in the podcast show notes, video description, or blog version of this episode, depending on how you're frivolitizing with us today. The game of Operation was originally invented at the University of Illinois in the 1960s by an industrial design student named John Spinello. John was given an assignment by one of his professors to design a toy or game. Now, he drew his inspiration for this project from a traumatic childhood memory of sticking his finger in a light socket. So he decided to design a game where the object was to guide a metal probe through a groove that ran between two metal plates with an electrical charge running through them, a small one now. If the probe touched a plate, the circuit would complete and sound a buzzer indicating failure. John's fellow students enjoyed the game so much that they encouraged him to show it to his godfather, Sam Catone, a model maker for the iconic toy company Marvin Glass & Associates. Mr. Catone then showed the game to Marvin Glass himself, and Mr. Glass so generously offered the student inventor a whopping $500 for the rights, his name on the patent, and the promise of a job upon graduation. John took the $500, didn't think much of it. In fact, he didn't even join the company at all until 1976. After selling the rights to Marvin Glass, John's godfather, Sam, got right to work. He came up with a theme and landed on the idea that the game should take place in a desert, with players using the probe to try and extract water from holes in the ground. The working title was Death Valley. That is until Marvin Glass resold the game to Milton Bradley, who had a brilliant designer named Mel Taft. He redesigned the game into the surgical silliness we enjoy to this day, and Operation was admitted into the surgical theaters of the world's kitchen tables in 1965 with everyone's favorite patient, Cavity Sam. Here's a fun fact. SAM is actually an acronym used by cardiologists, which stands for systolic anterior motion, which is a condition in a heart's ventricular cavity. Now, the game remained largely unchanged during its first 40 years. That is until someone at Milton Bradley came up with the genius idea to ask the public what new condition they would like to inflict on poor old Cavity Sam. The masses spoke loud and clear. They wanted brain freeze, and Cavity Sam's new ailment was revealed on an episode of Scrubs, where the TV doctors played the new version of the game on the actual show. The game of Operation. Let's have a look here. With doctor's cards and classic ailments. We see water on the knee. I forget what the rubber band is for. Writer's cramp, spare ribs, funny bone, broken heart. Poor Cavity Sam. Not seeing the brain freeze here, which is the new ailment. New meaning in the 90s, I think. And look, it says press my nose. It should light up and buzz. Yay! Here's nothing on this side. Look at the sides of the box here. Just regular. The logo and the the spiel, be the doctor in this classic game. Operation, let's see what's on the back here. All right, Cavity Sam looks a whole lot different than when he first came out. He's still chubby, which I like. I feel like a kindred spirit here. Probably has a lot of the same ailments I have. I am not seeing brain freeze on this. Did they get rid of brain freeze? That was like the new one. They made a big deal about introducing that. And just shows you the layout. Oh, he's got a little teddy bear with a boo-boo. The kind that you get in the hospital gift shop. That's nice. Is there a doctor in the house? Cavity Sam is feeling under the weather. Can you operate and make him feel better? Pick a card to see what funny ailment you need to fix. Carefully operate to remove the ailment. Watch out for the buzz. Flip the card over and earn the money on the back. Earn the most money to win. Okay, what a great thing to teach kids about how to get into the world of medicine. Become filthy rich. All right, so let's do this thing and let's pull the top off operation. Let's see. The grand unveiling. Dun, da, dun, da, 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 dun, da, dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, dun. And here we go. There it is. Not much to it. Doesn't appear that we have to really do any assembly at all here. You got the tweezers. Oh, they lock together. How in the heck do you even get those out of there? There we go. We got them. So here's Cavity Sam. And there's no brain freeze. Why would they get rid of brain freeze? Now, I'm disappointed at that. Doesn't matter. This thing should already have... Yeah. All right. So it's all pretty much all ready to go right out of the box. Really no assembly required here. We have all the parts right here. Apparently you have to break them out of this little frame. That's always kind of fun, though. I always liked it back in the day when you used to have to kind of pull the pieces out of something rather than have them all loose in there. I'll use my teeth to get into this. Ugh. Pick that up off the floor later. Try not to get caught by the wife. Okay. The rubber band in its own plastic housing. You know, they could have just laid the rubber band in there. The environmentalists are going to go crazy. Look, 2 plastic bags when you could have just had one. Probably didn't even need one. Another fun fact. Did you know that the game of Operation also inspired an actual medical procedure? Thyroid surgery used to be a lot more risky than it is today, largely because any small slip one way or the other in the patient's throat could cause damage to the patient's vocal cords. Thus, a surgeon named Andrew Goldstone, who played the game of Operation as a kid, who didn't, got a brilliant idea from the game and installed an electrode to the airway tube that gets inserted down the larynx during thyroid surgery. So when and if the doctor gets too close to the sides, a buzzer will sound. This technology has been utilized in thyroid surgeries since the early 90s and has benefited thousands of patients. Dr. Goldstone is currently working on a way to make patients' noses light up. Cavity Sam's broken heart. I feel so sorry for him. Where's his wife? He looks like he's at the age where he should be married. I mean, he's fat. Here, whatever this is, the bone. It's just a bone in the arm. Got the spare ribs. Look like they go right there. Luckily, these things aren't really hard to snap out. They're very, very easy. The butterfly for the butterfly in the stomach. Oh, the bread for the bread basket. I have not had breakfast yet. I'm shooting this in the morning time because everybody's out of the house. That would be the bread basket. That's kind of more where the pancreas would go, but you know, pancakes on the pancreas. A basket. Did I put the I put the bread in there. Oh no, this is not a basket. That's a pail for water on the knee. Okay. Horse. I guess it'd be Charlie horse. Of course, Charlie horse. And there's a wrench. What's the wrench all about? Did we get the pencil for the writer's cramp? I don't see the pencil. Oh, I think this is it. Okay, it just looked like part of the frame. Okay, so if you think you're missing your pencil, just look at the frame a little closer. It's just very small. And there we go. Okay, we do have all our parts here. Let's get back into the action here. So we have doctor cards, things like Funny Bone, and it tells you what happened, how he got injured. Let's go ahead and the back of it is the money. So yeah, I think these things cost a lot more in today's world. Break out the money, 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 money. And I don't really want to go through all the instructions here because it's reading through a lot, strategy and whatnot. First time you play, remove the blah, 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 get ready. Obviously, you place them where they're supposed to go. Don't get the buzzer. Well, we know that. If you touch the sides, you get the buzzer and the light up nose. The game ends when all the ailments have been removed from Cavity Sam. All players then add up the money on their cards. Whoever made the most money wins. Solo play, practice, and try to make some friends. In 2020, Hasbro, who purchased the game, released a new version of Operation called Operation Pet Scan, where you get to move objects through a dog's digestive tract. Yeah. I guess it's time to get to the operation. All right, so we've got all our cards here. We're actually you don't want to turn over that. You want to, I don't know how you want to do this. How would you do this? So on one side, you can see the amount of money and you want to get the money. On the other side, you see the ailment and what you're going to get. I guess you should just shuffle them and you get what you get and you don't throw a fit and you just take from the top. So I'm going to just kind of set these right here on top of Cavity Sam and I'm going to pull one. $300. Writer's cramp, of course. Sam has a cramp right in his wrist from writing out a very long grocery list. I like that. Let's see if I can get it here. Oh, and that thing is... Oh, I made him... Okay, well, I have absolutely no coordination for this, but you get the idea. I'm apparently horrible at this game. I'll do one more here for you. Spare ribs. Sam's spare rib is now a goner. It's a good thing he has another. Okay, the spare ribs are right here. I'll get $200 if I can get this. I got it! Yay! All right, you get the idea. There's really not much more to this, folks. That's it. That's the game of Operation. You can press his nose. My understanding is you're supposed to press his nose to reset it. This looks like a very dumbed down version. I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean by that is I think that more of the other modern versions, maybe that cost a little more, they had sound effects. My understanding, because I don't own any of the more modern versions. I had the old style version where it pretty much behaved exactly like this, except you couldn't push the nose. My understanding is that in some of the more modern versions, some of the more advanced, maybe higher priced version, this I got for $15 on an end cap at Kroger while I was doing my grocery shopping. But my understanding is, there would be sound effects coming out and you would reset it for the next player by pressing the nose. Apparently that's not the case here. This is a very cheapened version, but it's probably doing them just fine. And there are also other themed versions based around popular characters like Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, SpongeBob SquarePants, Homer Simpson, Star Wars, and many others. And there are digital versions you can play, but in my opinion, the real fun of this game is having something tangible you can physically reach out and play with in the real world. That's why you generally don't see me reviewing card games, video games, or flat board strategy games. I like three-dimensional things you can touch, squeeze, interact with, honk, make noises with. And well, there you go. Operation in the year 2023, and you don't even need a medical degree. But my kid might need one because I plan on him supporting me in my old age, which isn't really that far off at this point. So, if you'd like to help me pay for my kid's college so he can go to some righteous frat parties, dude, compete in pizza eating contests, and whatever else they do at institutes of higher learning, please consider becoming a Dandy Funhouse supporter by visiting the patronage page at dandyfunhouse.com, where you can also watch all the past episodes, subscribe to the podcast, and read the blog, which is just the episodes in written form, if you're weird and like to read. Supporters gain access to exclusive bonus features, and super supporters also gain access to those exact same features. Plus, I'll mail you something really cool from right here at the Dandy Funhouse Studios if you provide your mailing address. Podcast listeners can also contribute Satoshis, which are tiny slivers of Bitcoin that tend to get stuck in your digital teeth if your podcast app supports the Podcast 2.0 protocols. And speaking of protocols, I'm getting protocoled away right now on some urgent Funhouse business. It happens. So come on back soon, right here to the Dandy Funhouse, where everything is always fun and dandy.
It's Operation Milton Bradley's goofy game for dopey doctors. Here's your patient. You take a card.
Remove funny bone.
Careful, if you touch the sides. You blew it, Charlie. Next.
Take out right ankle.
A winner. Get Operation. It's electric. It's great.
Operation